if you do nothing about your diagnosis of ADHD, then nothing changes in your life. I'm saying that because I've seen so many people who try to ignore the fact that they have this, or they've discovered it, or it's just been brought to their attention. And because we've placed such a stigma on this, because we've made it a mental illness, which again, I don't feel it's that. I think it's just a way that we think differently. I see that with many different things that have been called mental illnesses. We just figure out how to do things in a new way. That's all. I have worked with many autistic people who have these skills that you would not know, but people are classifying them as having some mental illness, but they're just here to think differently, and they're bringing something else in. But what happens with ADHD, we've placed a stigma on it for a long time, and so you get embarrassed about it. You don't want to tell people that you have this. And then you're not treating it. And so you're still doing the stuff that you were doing before. And it becomes very apparent after a point. And if you've one of those who has taken medication for this, you know the difference. Because you can tell when your medication is on and when it moves, and then you can see what's happening. That was the condition that you have. That was how you were born. It's not a terrible thing. It's something you're just meant to use in a new way. I find that many people who have ADHD are also highly creative. It's not that they have it more than others, but it's just something that seems to have happened when they begin to manage it. And I'm saying this because I have one person who initially said, when they were told that they had ADHD, they said that doesn't exist. It's not a real thing. It's just made up. That does go around. People do believe that. And so because you've heard that, you have interpreted that as to mean that you should never talk about it because it's some terrible thing. And then because people are denying that it even exists, it must really be a terrible thing. So let's not ever bring it up. And then you keep going around and you're doing things in your life and you're wondering why they're still occurring. Why am I not remembering things? Why am I feeling like I'm screwing things up? Why am I embarrassed because I'm missing, I don't know where I'm going, I'm lost in my direction. I mean, so many things. But we keep doing it, and then because we're denying that we might have this ADHD thing or whatever that is, then we keep developing we develop the neural pathways that keep the same behavior going on. And it was just really astonishing to me because this one person in particular, they're not a client, so I can talk about this. But just even today, they're doing behaviors and things, and they're saying, why does this keep happening? Why does this keep happening? Well, it's keep happening because you're not willing to find the solution. You're not willing to accept the help. The other thing that goes on, another subtle thing, and I want you to appreciate this, because you've had ADHD, you may have had it or known about it for a while, whatever, even if you've been taking medication, it still might have gone on for you. Because early on in our lives, we start to feel, well, we're different. Something's wrong. And so then you start to form these opinions about yourselves that something is wrong or bad, and these connotations that are also typically very negative. And then you can't get out of that. So what I do when I'm working with someone, you have to understand this because you've got to go back and take the time to retrain your brain. That's what you're doing. You're retraining your brain in terms of the way that you think about yourself, because that's really what it is. And as that happens, changes begin. I mean, I will start to, and one of the things that I have my clients do, and what I do myself, when a behavior comes up that I know is directly related to ADHD, I'm going to acknowledge it. See, because in that moment when you acknowledge it and you do something, you write it down, you say, okay, I get it. Your brain is going to form a new coping mechanism. It's going to start to think, okay, I see this now, I can recognize it. Now I'm going to think differently. I'm going to take a new action. Every time you do that, you're forming new neural pathways that are going to continue to repeat that behavior instead of you ignoring what's going on, instead of you feeling and continually telling yourself that something is wrong with you, because that's what typically we do. There is a way for you to consistently move into a better place in your life. And that's really what it is. We're all here to evolve in some way, and we all come in with different conditions, as you might call them, that we have, but they're for us to use in some way. Not to ignore them, but to decide that it's part of us. We're going to own it, we're going to love it, and we're going to figure out the best way to work with it. That's it. All right. Hope this helped you guys.